So in chromatography in standardization of herbal medicine, so this we have discussed already, but let us take the review that what is the basic theme behind this. Whenever we are going to standardize any kinds of herbal medicine or herbal formulation, we are expecting that there are so many plant materials or herbs are involved in that particular formulation. First of all, only one formulation. If you talk about the single medicinal plant material, there may be the in number of chemical moiety or chemical constituents present. That and apart from that, you are using in your medicine or in your formulation so many number of plant material. So suppose in one plant material it is having more than 100 types of chemical constituents. So if you are using the 10 types of plant materials in one formulation, the chemical, you can imagine the number of chemical constituents present in that particular formulation, how they are going to increase. So when we are using the chromatography tool to standardize the herbal medicine, we are focusing on the main chemical moiety which is responsible to give the therapeutic activity. That chemical constituents we are taking as a reference or as a targeted chemical constituents to separate and to find out whether the sufficient quantity of that particular chemical constituents present in your herbal medicine or not, right? So all of you know very much about the chromatography, what it is and how it is. There will be the mobile phase and stationary phase, how they are working together, and they are helping to elute the particular component or the constituents present in that particular sample, right? So today we are going to discuss about the different chromatographic techniques in that how they are going to helpful to separate the components, right? So when we talk about the simplest chromatography, you can see here the chromatography is the science which studies the separation of molecules based on the differences in their structure and composition, right? There may be the tropane alkaloid, there may be the it may be the indole alkaloid, amidazole alkaloid, purine alkaloid. What is the type of alkaloid, what is the structure it is going to have, and what are the composition. So different because each and every component is having different affinity, right? So that's what you can see here in the second line. In general, chromatography involves moving a preparation of materials to be separated, right? Whatever the materials, so component we are going to separate, that it is moving, right? For example, the test preparation over the over a stationary phase or stationary support silica gel, like we have used in TLC, right? So in that, how they are moving the molecules or the component in the test preparation or in the test extract will have different interaction, right? We know that the affinity or interaction with the stationary support or stationary phase leading to separation of similar molecules, okay? So test molecules which display tighter interaction or high affinity with the support or with the stationary phase will tends to move more slowly through the support, and then these molecules with weaker interaction, right? And in this way different types of molecule can be separated from the each other, and they move over the support material. That is the theme of chromatography, right? So it is how much affinity or how much interaction with the stationary phase, accordingly they will move fast or late, okay? Chromatography separation can be carried out using variety of supports. Say for example, immobilized silica gel on glass plates that we are doing in the thin layer chromatography. The paper, the plate we have prepared by using the silica gel slurry into the micro glass plates, and activation for oven and so on, right? Very sensitive high performance thin layer chromatography. Then volatile gases can be used in the gas chromatography like helium and hydrogen, right? Paper chromatography also can be used as there are different support paper will be used, right? The support or stationary phase, it is going to be the paper in the paper chromatography, and the liquid which may incorporate into the hydrophilic insoluble molecule can be used in the liquid chromatography. So different types of support or stationary phase can be used in the different chromatography when it comes to the uh, separation of mixture, right? So if you we talk about the paper chromatography, so let us not go through the syllabus, sorry, principle and other things. How? Because all of you are aware about paper chromatography. Here mobile phase and stationary phase, these two, between these two we are trying to separate the component in the mixture, right? So as I told you, the paper, it is the support or stationary phase, and the solvent, it is the mobile phase, right? So whenever we are applying any sample, because here we are standardizing of herbal medicine, we are standardizing the herbal medicine. That herbal medicine, it is the mixture, it is the mixture in that so many components are there. So that medicine is for what? Suppose it is for anti-diabetic activity. So in anti-diabetic activity, what are the plants it is used? It has been used, for example, bitter gourd, for then Momordica charantia, neem, and other types of components has been used. So that extract you are going to keep here, right? So in the bitter gourd, like what Azadirachta indica or neem, right? Neem, it is used in anti-diabetic. So in Azadirachta indica, azadiractin is the main chemical constants which will be there. So azadiractin, you can take it as a sample, a reference drug, and you can expect that azadiractin, it is going to run here, and you will be knowing that reference azadiractin RF value, right? Suppose this green you can consider azadiractin, and this is the sample, this is the sample which is your test sample. Here you have got, so in this, with this it has been matched, so you can conclude that, so this RF value, it is matching with the reference RF value, that is for azadiractin, and you can conclude that in the given sample of the particular mixture there is azadiractin, and it is going to have, this is the preliminary one step. Paper chromatography, it will give you the preliminary information about your test extract, right? So same thing in TLC, what happened in TLC also, RF value we are calculating, right? The retention factor, it is very important here. The measure of the substance affinity for the stationary phase, here you can see distance moved by solute and distance moved by solvent. So here uh, each of the sample compounds, so you can see here in sample A and sample B, two example it has given, and this is the baseline or start line. Here we are plotting in the sample whatever we are going to test. So here you can see the distance travel, the front A, it is 25 centimeter, whereas the spot got in the 15 centimeter, and the solvent traveled or the moved by this moved by solvent, it is here in sample B, it is 20 centimeter, and in the sample sorry this solute, it is 12 centimeter. So all the solute, or solute means constituents or chemical moiety or chemical constants which we are going to find out, are having different affinity towards the stationary phase, and accordingly they are going to travel into the plate. And this with this the you can 12 by 20 here you can do, and the RF value, it is going to be different for sample B, and 15 by 25 you are going to do, then RF value, it is going to be different for sample A. So specific RF value you will be knowing with your reference, and you will come to know the this thing. Coming to the gas chromatography, how it is going to help you, right? Gas, as the name indicate, gas chromatography, the stationary phase is going to be gas, right? Which peaks represent the following substance, and which of the most abundant substance present in that. Here like that result you are going to get in gas chromatography, because whatever the volatile ion constituents present in your test extract, that will go into the flow of air or in volatile nature with the gases present into the gas chromatography, and accordingly depend on the volatility they are going to give the peaks, and here you can say see the different nature of the volatile: methanol, ethanol, butanol, propanol, hexane. These are volatile nature solvents, right? So they are going to give that kind of different types of peaks that will be indicating, and Here you can see, suppose for example, caffeine it has given in this. Caffeine, it is the one drug which you are which will be there in the tea. So if the tea is alkaloid, purine alkaloid, so if you are going to standardize or check the quality and purity of the tea powder, so caffeine it is going to be the your sample, your targeted chemical constants. So here what you can do, included in the mixer to give the reference point for RF value, which is included in the mixer, that you have to select. Okay, so caffeine you can select. The known concentration of the substance is included and compare the result for the analytes, right? So internal standards which you are giving, right? So you can see here the time, what you call retention time, how much it is, and a recorded response. So you can match whether this peak it is matching with your standard or not. If it is matching, you can conclude that the given peak it is caffeine, and that is there in your tea mixture of the given sample. That can be conclude by the guess, right? So how the explain, how you are going to uh, expect this chromatogram, right? The retention time, very very important. Retention time also be used as a identification tool. Here you can see the retention time: 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, 6, 7, 8. So it not only if you don't have a reference, so what you can do, key particular compound X, it may be the caffeine. So when it may be the caffeine, when it will retain at the 6 minute, right? Retention time it is going to be 6 minutes. So reference list of compounds and retention time. You can see here the suppose acetaminophen. If it is there, you are expecting in your given sample of text mixture. So it should retention time should be 2 minutes. So you if it is the peak in coming here, right near about here, you can conclude that in your given sample of mixture there is a acetaminophen. Caffeine 6 minutes. So here in 6 minutes we can see one caffeine, sorry, one peak that will be this thing, right? The benzoic acid 7 minutes. So this is a 7 minute. Here you can expect in one peak when you are expecting the benzoic acid. Aspirin 9 minutes, right? So 9 minutes means near about this area it will come, and here you can expect one peak that will be aspirin, right? So you can see in this slide. So what is the identity of the compound X? Here you can see in it is there in the 6 retention time, 6 peak. So in the 6, it is the caffeine. So compound X, it is nothing but caffeine. So likewise, you can have the different tools, a different reference, because the in library in the detector also there will be the library, and in all the detector in GCMS, in HPLC nowadays, in advanced technology, that they are having feeded data that if the peak will come in this range to this range, this may be this like that. The library will suggest the components, and accordingly you can conclude, right? Here the area also, it depend concentration, right? Peak height and the peak width. So how you can the peak area represent the amount of compound or concentration that has passed at the detector, right? So these peaks, they are going to, so many reference it is going to help you. So ultimately how we can conclude that, as we know that the chromatography, it is separation tool. It is the different chromatography. We could see that we are separating the components present in the test extract, right? When you will be able to separate what are the constituents are present, it will be easy to identify that what that particular component is. Herbal medicine, right? In herbal medicine are nothing but what, mixture of component. These are what, mixture of component. First of all, one herb itself is the mixture of chemical constituents. And if you are using, generally you could see in the herbal medicine or herbal formulation, they are using plant materials, in number of plant materials, right? Whatever the anti-diabetic activity plant has been reported till today, all the things you can see into the your herbal formulation of anti-diabetic tablet, capsule, or syrup, right? So what happened here, when we have to target the what it is for main, right? Whether it is having propane alkaloid or not, whether it is having indole alkaloid or not, whether it is having anthraquinone glycoside, or what kind of tannin. So what is the main chemical constant that you have to target, and you can subject into the chromatography, so that you will be able to find out the exact reference, it is matching with the reference or not, right? Known constituents, unknown constituents, and expected constituents that we need to correlate. Known constituents means we know the caffeine, how much peak it will give into the at how much concentration in TLC in paper, if you're subject into the GCMS, if you'll subject into HP. So you are very much aware, because caffeine is well established constituents, right? And if you are expecting any unknown constituents in your extract, or sometimes which constituents it is not yet established, so that also can be identified in the different chromatography. And expected constituents, if you are getting the tea mixture or tea extract, you can expect the caffeine supposed to be there, so you can take the known constituents caffeine as a reference, and you can expect the caffeine in your test extract, right? That the quality and quantity, so quality and quantity both are interrelated, right? How much quantity it is supposed to be there in how much extract, if they are sufficient in quantity, we can expect their quality also, because they are going to give the positive result, right? Positive peak, positive, the expected peak you are going to get, expected peak width you are going to get with the concentration, so that can be ensured with each other, right? Chemical moiety present that represent its quality, how much chemical moiety it is there, expected chemical moiety, right? What is the quantity that will represent its quality, right? How much, suppose in tea powder or tea mixture, if caffeine is not there, so first of all, tea, the main chemical constituent which is biosynthesizing in tea plant, that is the caffeine only, and caffeine itself it is not there, then what about other chemical constituents present in the tea? That will first of all, there are in small quantity, so they will not be there in the sufficient quantity, and the quality, it is quality compromised medicinal plant, we can conclude. Chromatographic technique is the best method to standardize the herbal medicine, because here only we can conclude, that we can expect, we can trace out that the quantity of the quality of the chemical moiety present in the particular herbal mixture or herbal extract, right? So that's what it is very very important to understand the different chromatography with the example, so that we can explain that or justify that the chromatography techniques are very very useful in the standardization of herbal medicines, right? So the chromatography is one of the tool, right? There are so many tools like physical, chemical, microscopical. So this is the most convenient and authentic tool to standardize the herbal medicines, right?